If you're looking for a small, capable, and affordable pickup truck, Subaru's got your back. They've just announced an all-new compact pickup truck that'll offer all the traditional Subaru capabilities and amenities at a significantly lower price than its direct rival. This new truck will bring a revolution to the small pickup truck segment that the Maverick aimed at achieving, but failed at due to reliability, capability, and pricing issues. So, let's not waste any more time and check out how the iconic Japanese manufacturer is gonna make history as Subaru CEO releases a new $19,000 pickup truck and wows everyone. The return of the BRAT. One of the cutest small pickup trucks America had is back on the menu. After 3 decades of the BRAT's final appearance on the American market, we're about to see the only true compact pickup truck that understood its assignment perfectly. And to make matters even better, the new model will be a true successor to the Little Legend. Just like it, the new BRAT will be an extremely small pickup truck, smaller than its direct rivals. It'll be around 5 inches shorter compared to the Santa Cruz and 10 shorter than the Maverick. This is because it was situated on the Crosstracks platform, and it'll share most of its mechanical components with it as a result of that. You could expect an extended wheelbase to accommodate the added bed length and retain cabin space as much as possible, similar to how its bigger rivals are made on their own respective platforms. However, despite it being smaller, it won't be less practical than the Hyundai Santa Cruz and the Ford Maverick. In terms of bed length, the BRAT will have a little less than 4 feet, making it nearly on par with the Hyundai Santa Cruz. Aesthetically, you could expect the truck that's more independent and daring compared to the current Subaru lineup, and you could expect various retro callbacks to the old BRAT. Now, unfortunately, that won't mean you'll be getting those cool seats in the back of the bed, but you will be getting a crew cab as standard, so it'll be more practical and safer than the old one. Functional yet nice looking interior. Despite being more daring and unique on the outside, the Subaru BRAT will be more or less a carbon copy of the Crosstrack on the inside. This will make it significantly cheaper to produce, as you won't need to change the production lines and tools to make most of the interior parts. That said, to lower production costs even further, the equipment levels and materials will be changed up. That means most of the lineup will come with interiors with cloth seats, hard plastics, and generally lower rent materials, keeping it simple, durable, and easy to maintain. In addition to that, lower trims will come with manual windows, very little interior details in trim pieces, reduced screen sizes, and an amount of them present as well as generally having less equipment to keep costs as low as possible. Now, does this mean that BRAT will be poverty spec through and through? No, absolutely not. It'll be very well equipped and well built at the higher trim levels. However, that'll cost you an additional pretty penny, which is why the focus has been mostly thrown onto lower end trims. And while the interior and exterior's more simplistic nature might sound disheartening to you, there's another sphere of the vehicle that'll surely garner more buyers towards it, exactly because it'll be traditional. Keeping it simple, powertrain-wise. Subaru has been spot on for the past 10 years in terms of reliability after they've managed to shed that image of the infamous head gasket issue. As a result of this, the Subaru BRAT will undoubtedly be the most tried and tested pickup truck in its segment for the money, beating out respectable but underwhelming Santa Cruzes and especially beating the likes of the unreliable Ford Maverick. The Subaru BRAT will be offered as 2 engines, a 2-liter Boxer 4 and a 2.5-liter version, both of which are already well known amongst the Subaru community as one of the most dependable units currently available. The Subaru BRAT's entry-level powertrain, the 2-liter Boxer 4, will push out upwards of 150 horsepower, making it relatively underpowered, but still pretty workable in its own right. Sure, it won't set the world on fire in terms of performance, but then again, the BRAT won't be a performance pickup truck, but an affordable, uncomplicated companion on the road. It'll be mated to either a 6-speed manual or a CVT gearbox, with the latter being an optional extra. Honestly, we love it this way, as the BRAT with a proper manual transmission will offer much more versatility compared to a CVT, offering greater towing capacity and payload capacity, while also being much nicer to drive. The 2.5-liter, which will push out nearly 190 horsepower, will be available on all trims too. However, it'll be an optional extra on all of them, and it too will come with both a manual gearbox and a CVT. This time though, both will be offered free of charge, and this will make the choice between the two much easier to tailor to your own taste. As for the towing capacity, the 2-liter with the CVT can tow up to 1,500 pounds, which is very meager, but then again, you wouldn't be buying it for the towing capacity, would you? The manual will tow up to 2,500 pounds, which is impressive considering how underpowered the engine is. On the other hand, the 2.5-liter Boxer 4 will be able to tow up to 2,500 with the CVT and up to 4,000 pounds with its manual transmission, tying it to the much more powerful and much torquier Maverick EcoBoost. But how did Subaru achieve this? Simple. Symmetrical all-wheel drive as standard. Where the Subaru BRAT completely outshines its competitors is the fact that you'll be getting symmetrical all-wheel drive no matter the trim or powertrain that you go for. Unlike the Maverick, which utilizes more rudimentary all-wheel drive systems that mostly relies on the front axle to do most of the power delivery, meaning it's both less fun to drive and less functional. On the other hand, Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive, which is the best drivetrain on the market, offers unprecedented traction and phenomenal connection between the driver and the wheels, practically following you to have the utmost control over them. This means that the all-wheel drive system will be fantastic for on-road usage, improving driving characteristics and dynamics and allowing the BRAT to completely outclass its rivals in this regard. On the other hand, because Subaru is, after all, a rally icon, this drivetrain will allow the BRAT to be exceptionally capable and potent off the road too, which is something where its direct rivals pale in comparison. Finally, because of the mechanical nature of the symmetrical all-wheel drive system, it'll be fantastic for towing due to the good amount of traction it'll provide, hence allowing the smaller and weaker BRAT to wrestle nicely with its larger competitors. And with all of that out of the way, it's time for us to tackle the biggest question of them all: pricing and release date. Subaru has made an extremely smart move by offering the BRAT as a smaller competitor made on a cheaper platform compared to its direct rivals. Why? Well, because it'll be drastically cheaper than its competitors. Starting with the base trim, which will set you back around $19,000 and will come with manually operated windows on all fronts, which, albeit cheap, will reduce the pricing substantially of the BRAT. You'll also get an infotainment screen for the money, don't worry, and it'll be released in the form of Subaru's twin-screen setup, most prominently featured on the Crosstrek's lower trim levels. You'll also get steel wheels and white as the only color choice, and you won't be able to configure it at all except for the CVT, which will cost you $1,000 more. That said, this version will be ill-fitted for those of us that need a do-it-all vehicle and not just a work truck, which is where the premium trim jumps in. You'll get alloy wheels taken straight from the Crosstrek's base trim, and you'll get front-row electrically operated windows as well as a generally nicer interior and exterior and a wider color palette. That said, this trim will start from $21,000 for the 2-liter manual and $1,000 more for the CVT. Next up is the Sport, and it'll introduce all of the amenities that the Crosstrek Sport has, that being a nicer soft-touch dash, a single vertical screen instead of the twin-screen setup, an increased ride height and off-road suspension, and rubber-like seats that'll be easier to clean than regular cloth ones. This model will start from $24,000. Finally, you get the limited trim, and it'll bring in leatherette seats, a faux leather-wrapped dashboard, a fully digital gauge cluster, very nice exterior features, and a 2.5-liter powertrain with a CVT as its only option. This model will cost quite a bit more, starting at $30,000. However, this will be on par with the entry-level Maverick and Santa Cruz. As for the other trims and the 2.5-liter engine, you'll be paying $3,000 more to get it on all of them, and if you ask us, that's well worth the price on the higher trims, but we keep it simple for the base and premium. The BRAT will enter production later this year, with the release being reserved for the first quarter of next year. So, prepare your wallets. It's gonna be a properly popular thing. Thanks for watching and see you next time.